Doot, 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 doot. Ba-da, 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 bow, 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 ba-da-da, bow, ba-da, 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 ba-dum, bow, ba-dum, bow, 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 dum, bow, 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 ba-dow, bow, bow, ba-dow. James Noble, Inga Swenson, don't forget that there's Missy Gold, Ethan Phillips, Dee Dee Khan, and more, and Renee Aubergenois as Clayton Endicott the Third. But that's all. Renee Aubergenois as Clayton Endicott the Third. But that's all. And Renee Aubergenois as Clayton Endicott the Third. Okay, what you just heard was me. I'm completely humiliating myself, but those are the lyrics to this theme from the song, the theme from the sitcom Benson. The theme from Benson has no words, I hear you cry. Oh, you're right. You're so right. And yet it totally does have words. Anybody who's watched me for a long time, I'm going to get to the cancer thing, but anybody who's watched me for any length of time knows I'm obsessed with opening credit sequences of TV shows, newscasts, everything. And some of them that go really far back in my childhood are completely like tattooed backwards and forwards in my head, including all of the different variations, right? Like if there's a show that's on for 7 seasons and there's a kid in the cast, then they're going to have to refilm the credits at some point, probably just because the kid's growing up. But you don't want looking 7 when she's now 14, or whatever. Because that was approximately the age of Missy Gold when Benson was on the air. Anyway, Benson's one of my longest, most favorite sitcoms. And, what they say about sitcoms, the reason anybody keeps watching, of course, is because it's still funny, right? It just makes you laugh over and over. It doesn't get old. For instance, I'm starting to run into a little bit of that with some Big Bang Theories and some Seinfeld reruns. It's just, I've seen it a little too goddamn many times and I'm just kind of over it, at least for now, not forever, right? I'll come back to it at some point. But there's a time at which just, okay, enough of the Sheldon, enough of the Sheldon Cooper, enough of the fucking Kramer. Even though I love Sheldon and I love Kramer, it's just like, enough. But, I get made fun of a lot, I think, for really touting this show, Benson, when it is not the, it's not even the primary show of that, franchise, that franchise, the people who produced that show, I guess I should say, went on to do The Golden Girls and the Empty Nest show with Richard Mulligan. Before some Benson was Soap. Soap was actually the show that kind of spun off into Benson. And there's kind of a sameness, there's a rhythm to those shows. Some could say formulaicness, and that wouldn't be wrong, I think, or unfair. I'm sorry I'm positioning the camera and changing this stuff. What I'm trying to do is work out the camera angles and what it looks like, because I need to be able to do it laying down. Uh-oh, did I just end that broadcast? I hope not. No, okay. I need to be able to do this laying down is because to sit up really hurts the cancer. I've got the cancer stuff still in the left armpit area. I think it's probably still growing in my lungs too, but that's not where it's bothering me. This sitting on the bed nonsense is not going to work. But when I sit up and I'm teaching English, I'm trying to be all active and energetic, and I am. It's just, I can't help myself. When I see these kids, it's like, hi, Ben, how are you? I get all nuts. But it works. They really dig me. And I think it's a good job for me. It is not fun getting up at 4 a.m, and yet it's not that hard anymore. It took about a week to get used to that again. I used to do it when I did morning radio. Everybody who's done morning radio has to get up at 3 in the goddamn morning to get into the radio station by 5 in the goddamn morning, so you can get on the air by 6 in the goddamn morning. Glad that's over with, and yet here I am doing it But all I have to do is get up and get dressed, right? I don't have to go out. I can just get up, have a lovely soda. Speaking of which, one of these days I'm going to dip my microphone, and you're not going to be able to hear me anymore. Yay! I hear you cry. Party. Funny, the lights chose that moment to animate right there. Okay, so here's what I really want to talk about for the lion's share of the broadcast today. Again, I keep looking for a timer to see how long I've been on the air. And again, there isn't one. So I'm trying to use the clock. I came on at roughly 8 a.m. And I will go off at roughly 8:15. I try to keep it to 15 minutes because I will ramble endlessly. I seriously will. Just a continuous kind of chain of thought one onto another. Anybody who's had a conversation with me knows this. Anybody who's talked to me lately has probably heard me say talk about my illness. And I hate that. That's one of the things I kind of did not want it to happen. Was, I don't want to be cBas the cancer guy, even cBas the sarcoma guy. Although what I've done is actually pretty cool. I feel it makes me very happy and excited to sort of have done this. I created kind of one of those uniform campaigns, right, where I called it Sarcomedy. I came up with a name that isn't anywhere else. I checked. Comedy of Sarcoma, Sarcomedy. And then I bought the website, sarcomedy.com, which was not owned. And I went and found a toll-free number that spells it, right? 1-844-4-Sarcomedy. I also put a bid in on a toll-free number for the new there's a new toll-free number going to come out, like 1-800, and then they ran out of 1-800 numbers, so they did 1-888, and then they ran out of those, so they added 1-877, and then 1-876 or 866, and 1-855, and 1-844. The one I have now is 1-844-4-Sarcoma, the number 4, and then Sarcomedy. Sorry, it spells the same thing. Sarcoma, Sarcomedy. When there's the 4 in front of it, the last digit drops off. And so that's my number. If you call 1-844-4-Sarcomedy, or for sarcoma, 1-844-4-Sarcoma, my phone will ring. By the way, yeah, smashed the phone yesterday too. But that's not what the crowdfunding money will go for. Believe me, I'm just going to go to the mall and get that fixed for $15. I'm not getting a new phone. Fuck that. What I really wanted to talk about was the production of this video, because I did, and I'm going to show it here. In fact, maybe I'll just do that first so you know what I'm talking about. I've been on the air about 5 minutes already, just blathering. I might as well go ahead and share with you. This took a lot of work. It took about a week, all told, to produce the audio, the video, everything involved. And what you're going to see here is the video. Donate to cBas to see a sarcoma specialist. Now the thing about it is, I don't think we'll hear audio because the speaker's all the way across the room. Well, I don't know. You're seeing this. I can sort of move the mic to the speaker. Yeah, okay. I'll just do this here. So you will get to hear the audio, and it's just about 3 minutes. And I just wanted to make it not sad. I wanted to make it kind of try and be inspirational, rather than, please help me not die. Please help me to survive. I didn't want it to be that. And so I present to you now, donate to cBas at 1-844-4-Sarcomedy. I'm cBas. Sebastian. I teach English over the internet to kids in China and adults, mostly in Latin America. I'm a big Trekkie, everybody knows that. I also really dig my garden, my dogs and cats, and every couple of weeks I go on the radio and read the newspaper to visually impaired listeners, to blind people. I'm also fighting stage 4 cancer. Surprise? I was pleomorphic undifferentiated sarcoma. Are you kidding me? This is a class of cancer so rare, it's actually rare within a class of already rare tumors. It's like getting struck by lightning at the same time as you win the lottery. Lucky me. Actually, I am lucky. If you go back to the beginning, it's almost 4 years now that I've been wrestling with and defeating this disease. I've been winning. I have not lost 1 pound of my body weight. I haven't lost my appetite or my energy. I haven't even lost my hair.
That's despite fighting hard, too. Chemotherapy, 3 different courses of radiation, 4 or 5 different surgeries. And now the oncologists want to send me to an expert in Seattle. The insurance company says no. Kind of like I'm not worth saving or something. The truth is, I don't know if I'm worth saving. I do know that no one is more up for this fight than me. No one has a more positive attitude. No one has more unlimited energy. My nurses say I have this incredible glow about me. I think that's just the radiation. But hey, I know if anyone can beat this cancer, I can. I've been doing it for almost 4 years now. I'm getting really good at it, as a matter of fact. I have the greatest family in the world, and with their support, I have been beating this thing. It just keeps coming back. Now I've got to self-pay, and I could. It'd take me 6 months on my English teacher's salary, and the clock is actually ticking, cancer-wise. My friends actually asked me to crowdfund this effort so they could help me. I have the greatest friends in the world, too. Yep, I need to get to Seattle to see that specialist, and you can help get me there. Donate online right now at sarcomedy.com and help me turn this terminal cancer into nothing more than a chronic condition. Thanks.
Yes, indeed. So there it is. And I will go ahead and put the little closing screen up a second time just so you can see the website and the 800 number, since I was discussing the 800 number just a moment ago. There it is. 1-844-4 Sarcomedy, which is ridiculous in a way, but I just needed something not taken that I could get an 800 number for and get, the website, the domain and all of this. Let me switch back over to L camera. There we go. So anyway, that's the commercial. I don't know. I mean, I wanted there to be something people could look at. I wanted, that was born out of a bunch of things I wanted. I didn't want it to be sad, like I said before. I didn't want it to be Sarah McLachlan, wrist slitter, won't you save this starving dog? I didn't want it to be that. Because there's something like this could easily go that way. And, I maybe doing it that way would have gotten more money. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe this is kind of a little on the vague side. On the other hand, some people thought it was a little on the overproduced side. Certainly that was the initial reaction at the very beginning before I had done the video and just done the sound. I had just done the music. You were like, no, don't you think it's a little overproduced or it's a little sensational, or I forget exactly how they put it. And it was fair criticism. It was fair feedback. I was not upset to see that. In fact, I kind of was going for that in a way, because I was trying to feel just where the spot is, right? Which level of emotion am I trying to hit? I don't want to make people pity me. I want to make people want to cheer me on, to inspire people to, keep fighting. And, I've been fighting a while. It's worth continuing the fight, I guess I'm trying to say, right? It's worth the effort. It's worth the pain. It's worth the fear and the uncertainty. It is worth it. It really is. And, this is coming from someone who, quite honestly, opening up for a sec here, I really did not have reasons to live that I could count on a hand as recently as a couple of years ago. When I was learning to be an English teacher, it was a very hard process. And of course, when I was in Mexico, I had a very fun time, and I love Mexico, and I'm, dying to go back there. I keep hoping September this year I will sneak back for a weekend in Villahermosa, Tabasco, Mexico, or maybe Guadalajara, Jalisco, Mexico. But I do love Mexico. Some of those tacos, cochinita, pibil, are just like, you can't get them in the USA. They just don't make them here. It's just not possible. Even things like the Mexican KFC, which is something strange. They actually have KFC in Mexico, and that was kind of my American home, away from home, for the first 6 months. McDonald's made me sick, if you remember. Okay, ramble. As I was trying to say, when I was an English teacher, it was a tough process switching, and so emotionally, there was a lot of stuff I was working on, and I was trying to manage a lot of pain in a lot of ways. And it was changing pain. Like the goalposts were moving, so I couldn't, I couldn't sort of have a certain amount of stability. And it turns out I crave stability. Like it really, really. Maybe I think we're built for that. But once I became an English teacher, and once things kind of stabilized, and then I sort of found myself in a very weird way at the same time as I was diagnosed with cancer. It happened separate from that. I'm convinced that really right before I was diagnosed with actually having cancer. I mean, I knew I had a lump. That's really all I knew. My life did undergo a transformation right prior to that. And then the cancer kind of accelerated and, accelerated, I guess is the word, magnified the changes I was going through, the realizations I was having. To the point where, I mean, I don't even really feel comfortable talking about all the different ways in which I'm so much better now. Because in a way, you have to talk about how bad you were. And I don't want people to know how bad it really was, because it was just, I mean, it was severe. It was really bad. The pain, the suffering inside, and just this sort of uncertainty. And I was wishing to die. I will tell you that. I wasn't going to kill myself ever. I was never suicidal, but I did not want to live. And as I said before, I couldn't count or think of any reasons for me to live, right? People my age are now married and having kids mostly, and I'm not. And that has a way of making you feel like you're standing still, or I don't know, that you're not doing something valid when other people are, whatever. I don't feel that way now. But when other people have reasons to continue existing, that they can see reasons, for a future, and you can't see that for yourself, it's a very dark, scary place. When I say here that Ellen DeGeneres, the comedy, stand-up comedy of Ellen DeGeneres was a very integral component in my healing, it is not because of the cancer. Well, it was what I listened to when I was in the cancer process, but it was much more about the depression and the getting up from the dark place. I'm getting weepy, but like it really was not about thinking about cancer or thinking that I might die. It was that I sort of woke up from this depression, found reasons to live, invented things to live for. That was what happened when I went to Disneyland last year. Because also right prior to my transformation and right prior to my cancer diagnosis, I was suffering from this thing about not knowing who I was. I mean, I knew who I was, but didn't know what I was to do. And I had no reasons I could think of to live. Now, again, that sounds like I was suicidal and wanting to kill myself. That's not it. I'm literally speaking that I couldn't think of any reasons. Who would notice if I died? That kind of thing. Who would notice? Whose life would be even impacted if I passed away? If I got hit by a bus tomorrow? And I couldn't think of really anybody. My family, yeah, my friends would be sad, but nobody's depending on me. Like I haven't really done anything. When you had a career crash and burn, if you even feel like it's crashed and burned, when I kind of see now that it didn't. But for that time I did, and feel like I was a failure, just a complete failure. And like it was strong, and it was daily. And it was pain. I was trying to kill a lot of pain, and I was trying to, I wasn't trying to kill myself, but I was not thinking of. I was hoping to die in my sleep every night, kind of a thing. That's a very sad, dark place. And when Ellen DeGeneres in the one stand-up comedy special, I think from 2001 or two, I think it's maybe the one with the moon, where she's wearing a moon on her shirt and the moon's in the background. She does an interpretive dance about what happened, and the interpretive dance goes on. I'm not going to even mock it here, although I could do it. That's the thing I would like to do someday. Is like do the interpretive dance. I'd like to, how Ellen dances with her audience members. I would love to go see the Ellen show and do this dance with Ellen. The interpretive dance of coming out of the closet, having it be a fucking party. Dancing, partying. Everybody loves you. You're just the bee's knees, and you're the popular person for the moment, and then it starts to crumble a little bit, and then it starts to crumble a little bit more, and then it starts to get bad, and then you're running from things, and then you're hiding, and then you're crumpled up in a ball on the ground, and she literally goes through that in the interpretive dance. It's very funny, but it's very sort of telling and it's actually very powerful. I feel like, obviously, um, because she gets up from that and comes back from it. It's the idea is there's redemption at the end. And she comes back on with the mic and says, you know, when you're down there, it feels like you're never going to get up. And then you do, and that was what her interpretive dance was really all about. And so I remember seeing it the first time, not having experienced it. That's the crazy thing. You see something, and I see somebody acting out a experience that happened to them, none of which I'm really attached to. Not even really coming out of the closet. Like I never really did that. People just kind of assumed knew, And so I'm gonna go an extra 5. I'm gonna go till 8:20. Just because I'm on a roll. But so anyway, that comedy was very important to me, and it was something I listened to when I was in the dentist chair a lot. And then when this cancer treatment happened, that's what I was in my ear, my Bluetooth thing in the radiation machine. The video that you see there has a segment of me in the radiation machine. I actually filmed myself being treated with the radiation machine going around me. You see, I actually drew in an animated beam just to show something happening because it's not really clear. Radiation beam simulated. But yeah, there was about 35 or 40 of those sessions where I would have to go and lay on that table and have the machine kind of go around me and zap me. And it worked. Like it totally worked. This thing keeps coming back though. So, and I've kind of hit the maximum amount of radiation a person can stand, at least for the lungs. So there's going to have to be other stuff we try treatment wise. And that's why the specialist is important. This is a long way of trying to tell you that, the specialist that my oncologists want me to go to is a guru kind of fucking guy, right? He's like seriously important, and he's specialized in only this. And what I have is very, very, very rare. So to find a specialist, to find literature or statistics on how long will I even live. Melanoma people know, I guess, once you're diagnosed, it's 2 to 5 years or something like that. When I first thought this was melanoma, because one doctor told me melanoma is a type of sarcoma. Okay. Cancer, sarcoma, melanoma. But this came up as a melanoma first, and then it's like, no, this is a spindle cell fibrocystoblast or something. I don't even know. The term I've been diagnosed with is stage 4 pleomorphic sarcoma, undifferentiated, which is all that it means is that they don't know how else to classify it, which is a very funny thing when you think about it, because it's got this very kind of sophisticated and specific sounding name. But it's not. It's just because it's like uncategorizable or something. So they don't know. They do know what kind of doesn't work because they have seen it before and they have tried to treat it. They don't know what works. I guess I should probably try and look into how previous patients have had this disease and how they have died, because I really don't even know how it would happen, and I don't feel comfortable asking my doctor to sort of speculate on that because he doesn't know. But maybe he can make an educated guess if I had asked him nice, like, okay, what exactly what will happen to me if I die from this? Like, will it be growing in my lungs and I won't be able to breathe? Is that it? Like I'll suffocate, or like, how does it happen? It's a very sort of dark, dire subject, and I don't want to have it happen, but I've sort of not really explored it much, and it does motivate me to try and get my ass in gear. That's why I made that video. I spent a week and a half or so really writing, doing the audio, and then filming, and then editing the video of that movie. And I think it was really good. Like I've actually been happy with it. You have an idea like that, and I want to, produce as close to the image in my head as I can. Sometimes I succeed, and sometimes I don't. In that one, it was almost exactly what I saw in my head. There was no part of it. Most of my videos, I could even point to even my best videos and my favorite videos that I produced on YouTube or the news or whatever, and point to a thing that's like, oh God, there was that one thing I wish I could have fixed before I had to put it up finally. Because you do at some point just have to pull the trigger. You just kind of have to put it up on the internet and say, okay, I'm not going to fuck with it anymore. Because making a video like that is really a consistent, continuous process of, oh, I'll just fix this. What if I just tweak that a little bit? What if this looks like this? Oh, okay, throw this in there. And then, you're just kind of making little changes and playing it again. Making little changes and playing it again. Sometimes you have a bigger, longer roadmap of what you want it to be overall. Sometimes you don't. This one I did. The text, I wrote 3 different narrations before I settled on the narration that finally was settled on. The guy, and I look back now on the original script I wrote for that, it was not good. Ding, you win. No, that is actually a text message from what, a dispensary, something. I'm getting a UPS package today. I'm looking for that. I do need to say thank you to the people who have donated. Is probably the first thing I should have said coming on here. In truth, I'm so new to this that I'm not even really, it's not clicked in my head that this money is coming or that this is going to be happening. And the truth is, I only put the announcement up today. Like this video I produced, it went up today. The campaign has been on like in the website for a week, and I guess I did tweet it once on the sort of back page. I didn't really put it out on my main Facebook page until today, Monday, the 1st of March, May, 1st of May. I've just had my birthday. So it's crazy that I'm already, more than a third of the way there, I think. At least 25% of the way there toward 2,500 before I even put it up on Facebook, really. That is so remarkable. I have these friends who are literally itching to donate to me. And, whether it was 50 cents, whether it was $100, sometimes it was more than that. Like just, the thank you cannot be nearly strong enough for that. Because what it is going to do is allow me to go see Dr. Cranmer, the specialist that my oncologist want me to see faster. And you have to have the money. When you self-pay for an appointment like that, you have to have the money up front. And so that's why I decided to do it this way. I would not have done it this way. I would have saved up my own teacher money and let it take 6 months if it had been anything where it wasn't seriously this kind of dire and critical. And the other truth is, it's a shot in the dark. Dr. Cranmer may not have the solution. You have to keep that in mind too. This may not be an easy thing. It's certainly not an easy thing. It may not be winnable. It may only be that I do have up till 5 years from my diagnosis. The crazy thing is, if you really go back as far as my first surgery, that would be 2013. So when I say I've been fighting it almost 4 years, that's going back to that, when I had my first lump and when it was bothering me and when it was cut out of me. Now, they told me at the time it was not malignant. And they were wrong, but that was part of it. That was part of it. Now, when the doctors now have looked at these stuff from back then and kind of put it all together with the new stuff that's been excised from me, I'm going way over my time, but I don't care because this is actually what I had hoped to talk about. And I sometimes have trouble opening up. I never have trouble talking, but I sometimes have trouble like being real or, personal. Some people are like, Jesus, Mr. does a daily show on YouTube and doesn't, like you revealing his personal life. Yeah. I get that, Mr. Ego. I get that I'm Mr. I guess it's part of the same disease that like lead singers of rock groups get, where you're just like, the attention, me. Fortunately, I have found luckily ways of sort of allowing that itch to be scratched without it being destructive, and sort of hopefully without it being too annoying to you guys. I know it's annoying, especially when it's like, there he is again, like, I won't say who. It's unfair of me to say who I've seen roll their eyes, in various ways. But probably each of you has in one way or another. Something I'm wearing or some way I'm having my hair, a fit that I'm throwing at any particular time. I'm not known for throwing fits. A letter I have written. Oh God, the letters I have written. Well, hey, you know what? If there's one thing I'm going to be remembered for, that's going to be one of them, whether I like it or not. Honestly, the letter writing, the angry email, how my friends in cubicles or offices down the hallway can tell when I'm pissed because of the ways in which I'm typing very fast and hard. That's going to definitely be a cBas thing after I'm gone. I don't know. I'm not too scared of that. I'm just not wanting the end to be here because it has gotten so good all of a sudden in the past year. It really has, and it's at the same time I've been fighting this cancer knowingly since I've been told I had it. But what I say in that video is absolutely true. Not 1 pound of body weight. In fact, I've gained a little weight. I'm a little more solidly 140 consistently 140 pounds. there were times when I was down to 130, when I was a lot less healthy, a lot less well fed, a lot sort of just less mentally well. And so, not lost a pound. I won't say I haven't lost a hair because I am 42 now, but like I haven't lost my hair. You know what I'm saying? Like I haven't had to shave it or had it all fall out because of chemo. Then again, I've only had one chemo treatment. Then again, only like 20% of people on this particular chemo drug lose their hair apparently. So, I was going to shave my head preemptively or try and do something preemptively so that, like I had kids in China who I'm on camera with every morning and whole classes of kids in China listening to me. And I don't want there to be a day when I suddenly am like, without hair. And they're used to seeing me with this ponytail, but with the hair. And I don't know how I'd explain to first graders that are not good English speakers about this, but they're very fond of me. They love me, and I would not want them to be worried. But it's not an easy conversation. Their English is the dog is under the table. The dog is on the table. All right, I will wrap up for now. Thank you again. I'm going to try and organize my thoughts a little bit more and do more of these updates. The updates will be coming regularly. The website, sarcomedy.com, is the place where it will be. Also, the YouTube channel, and also, just me on Facebook. Of course, the phone number you can call. If you have my old cell phone number, you can call that. I just bought 1-844 for Sarcomedy because it made me laugh. And then the website, of course, sarcomedy.com as well, is kind of the powerhouse, the clearinghouse for all this stuff. So thanks for watching. Those of you that spend a half an hour with me, Jesus fucking Christ. But whatever. I'm about to go back to sleep because I was up very early teaching English to Chinese kids. Have a great day. Thank you again for donating. And by the way, if you can't donate money, that's totally cool. You could help me out a lot just by sharing it, just by letting other people see that movie. Because if that could go viral, people can, just even strangers can donate $5 kind of a thing. It will help me get there so much faster. I can't believe I'm already a quarter of the way there without even having announced. So the tiniest amounts or the tiniest shares, are not tiny. They're enormously meaningful. And every single one of you who has shared or donated is noted and will be thanked, like lavishly. Whether or not I live through this, you will be thanked and have my endless thanks. All right, I'm going to stop here. Join me tomorrow for more Mornings with cBas. Maybe a little more stable camera. Oh my God, sit. Well, enough of the sit. Goodbye.